So this was the hand. I was playing with Craig, actually, my commentator from the Solway Knockout that we've been doing the past few days. And we were playing against the Fireman team. Paul Fireman, I guess, either passed away or no longer sponsors teams, but he was the sponsor of John Craniac, John Hurd, Joel Wooldridge, Vince DeMoy, and Gavin Wolpert way back in the day. Now Spectre is the sponsor for that team, Warren Spectre. And so we were playing against John Craniac in the north seat and Vince DeMoy sitting south. I was here, Craig Ganser was over here in the west. So they had an auction, one club in the north precision. I was in the east seat, so you can see my hand. One club precision, one diamond 0 to 7, one no trump 17 to 19, two clubs stamen, two spades in the north, three hearts, forcing spade raise, and north bids 4 spades, which passed out. So I was sitting here with east, and what looks like might be 3 natural trump tricks. And the kind of the backstory of all this is the night before. So Kit Woolsey writes these articles on Bridge Winners called Kit's Corner, and he goes through hands. I think we mentioned this yesterday during our commentary. And they're great articles. I used to read them every week. I've since stopped following stuff on Bridge Winners. But the night before we played this match, I was watching. Kit came out with an article, and I looked through it. And he was talking about some hand where the opponents, in a very, very similar spot, defending against 4 of a major, with what looked like 3 natural trump tricks, led an outside ace on trick 1. So, for example, on this hand, if I just led the ace of clubs, and Kit runs through the hand from declarer's perspective and says, well, why would the opponents lead an unsupported ace? The reason must be because they have natural trump tricks and they're trying to cash them. So declarer ended up stripping the hand and playing one of the opponents out of their 2 natural trump tricks. So I was like, ha, I'm going to be smarter than Kit's opponent on this hand. I am going to lead a diamond. So I do. I led the 2 diamonds. And this is the dummy that came down. Great, I have 3 natural trump tricks. This should be an easy set, right? So the 2 diamonds gets led. Cran plays the 10 from dummy. Partner covers with the jack. And declarer won the king. Now I'm not 100%, and you know from watching the past few days that VuGraph operators don't always get the play correct. But this is how it was recorded on VuGraph. So I literally pulled the transcript and took all of the same plays. So Cran at trick 2, led a low club, and I started thinking. I had thought before he led a low club, but my thought process was as follows. Well, if declarer leads a low club, and he actually has 4 diamonds, and I duck this, if the club queen holds, he might just play a spade to the ace, play 3 more diamonds pitching a club, and then start cross-ruffing the entire hand. So I'll get my 3 spade tricks in the fullness of time, but I lose the ace of clubs. So I got scared, and I popped up with the club ace. Small, small. I continued another diamond, and now I'm going to reveal the full hand. So on my diamond continuation, the play continued as follows. Cran won the ace of diamonds. He went into the tank for about 10 minutes at this point and returned the 5 of diamonds. When this held, he quickly cashed the queen of clubs, played a heart to the ace, heart to the king, ruff to heart, cashed the king of clubs, led a club, and when I ruffed with the 10 of spades, he claimed. In fact, I ruffed with the 10 of spades and put the 2 of spades on the table, but that's when he claimed. So, 10 tricks made. Well, I will say, so we had mentioned this story yesterday. This was the exact hand where the VuGraph operator told us after the board that in the other room, 3 no trump was bid and made. not good form. But, so I was a little disappointed. I spent a little while thinking, had I ducked the ace of clubs, maybe Declare would have won the queen of clubs, tried a spade to the 9, I could win the 10 or queen. I probably would have won the queen, cashed the club ace, played another diamond, Declare might have crossed to the heart king, tried another spade hook. This would be a different story. So push board, nothing too terrible had happened to us. But at the bar later that night, after they had won the match by slim margins, I went over to Cran. He was probably my best friend in the entire bridge world, and said, hey, you played this hand really well. And he goes, look, I don't know if I should be telling you this because I could use it against you in the future. And he pauses and then thinks a little better of it and says, okay, hopping up with the club ace was a very, very, very bad play, and my long hesitation at trick 4, when he was back here after I played the second round of diamonds, was based on the fact that he thought I was too good of a player to have hopped up with the club ace from this position. Eventually, he just decided to trust his instincts, that I had 3 natural spade tricks. Maybe he also read Kit Woolsey's article the night before, and he unplayed me in trumps to squish 3 of my trump losers into 2. So something about that just didn't sit right with me. This was the 2015 U.S. team trials in middle of nowhere, Illinois. It was where it was being played. And the fact that someone who I considered a very, very close friend in the community didn't want to tell me about a mistake he saw me make because he wanted to take advantage of it in like a competitive atmosphere, kind of made me reconsider my career choice. That's kind of where I was at the time. So I'm thankful that Cran actually told me this, but just the way it was presented, I probably shouldn't tell you this because I could use it against you. I've always wanted to work with other people to build something together, and that wasn't really the vibe I was getting from the bridge community at the time. Everyone was just out doing their own thing. So that's around the time after those team trials. We lost a thin match to them. They went on to win the whole thing. I started kind of slowing down my pro playing career and telling all of my clients, hey, you have to find new pros. Telling a lot of my partners, hey, you better look for a new source of work. And within, I think, 3 or 4 months from that, I had basically gotten rid of all of my commitments to play professionally.